you. So welcome to all of you. There is you, Stacy, Antoinette. Yes, welcome to all.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Later we talk.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome,
All right.
dear Sandrina, Kiwani and Simone, Treasurer Stacy, President Pat, DP Karen. Welcome, Director Raquel, dear G.E. Gertlin. I know we spoke, but I didn't did the official welcome to you also.
Very much. Have a great and wonderful meeting.
Thank you, DLGE. I know you're always there to support, to be the wind beneath my wings when I need it.
I am.
Yes. Dear Sandrina, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Doing a little bit of multitasking this afternoon, but I am here.
Don't we know about that? We are very good at doing that, aren't we? Right. So my presenter is here. My Kiwanian is here. My director is here, and it is now 3 o'clock. Secretary Georgette is the vice principal on.
Hi, Bridget. Bridget, I don't get the number yet.
Hi, Miss G, what number?
Your number.
Oh, I got my phone back 2 days ago.
Oh, you did?
yeah, man. I got it 2 days back. It's back 2 days ago.
I didn't know I was trying you before.
But I will send you the other number still.
Okay, thanks. Blessings.
Yeah, man.
Hi, Karen Sinclair Lim. Good to see you on.
Trying to keep busy.
I know. I'm glad to see you on. Be blessed, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Hi, President Paulette. I know you told me hello earlier, but my headphone was fighting. So it looked like the fight done.
Yes, life is like that, isn't it? Welcome.
Okay, thank you.
We will begin momentarily. I'm just trying to ensure that we have the persons in the room that are to be in the room doing. So I'll begin momentarily. Thank you for your patience.
Is when you touch
See, my students are coming in. Okay. I see my children are coming on screen. So we can begin. We have all the players in the room. And I want to say a very special welcome to everyone this evening to this forum that is being presented by the Kiwanis Club of Friends Across Borders, Jamaica, in collaboration with the Shortwood Practising Primary and Infant School. As you can realize, the children are at home due to the COVID pandemic and several things are happening. But before we go any further, I want to call us to order and I will ask PE Chris to play the national anthem. Can we please be upstanding for the national anthem? Thank you all very much. I now invite DP Bridget to do invocation.
Thank you, President. Good evening again, everyone. Let us pray. God our Father, God our provider, God our health and strength. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for life. We thank you for friends. We thank you for fellowship, dear Lord. As we meet in this fashion, dear Lord, our focus is on our children. Lord, we want to ask you to guide our deliberations at this meeting. And whatever we say and do may be done to the glory of your name. Lord, at this time we bring before you all our members here and abroad who might be experiencing health challenges. Lord, we want to ask you to touch them with your healing hands. And as we go, Lord, we want to ask you to protect each and every one of us as we deliberate in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, DP Bridget. And in true Kiwanis style, we now do the objects of Kiwanis International, led by new Kiwanian Simone. Simone. I'm sure I saw Simone earlier on.
Hello?
Yes, Simone,
Hello?
please go ahead. We're hearing you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Our objects of Kiwanis International: to give primacy to the human and spiritual rather than the material values of life, to encourage the daily living of the golden rule in all human relationships, to promote the adoption and the application of higher social, business, and professional standards, to develop by precept and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship, to provide through Kiwanis Club a practical means to form enduring friendships, to endure altruistic service, and to build better communities, and to cooperate in creating and maintaining that sound public opinion and high idealism which make possible the increase of righteousness, justice, patriotism, and goodwill.
Thank you so very, very much. And the task of welcoming everyone will, of course, go to our indomitable PE Chris. PE Chris?
And I'm coming to you just now. All right, good afternoon, fellow Kiwanians and guests. Welcome to this afternoon's presentation, which I'm certain is going to be very good. We look forward to Inspector Clark's presentation, but before we get there, I'd like to just take this opportunity to recognize our virtual head table, President Paulette. We also have Vice Principal Mrs. Sonia Phillipson-Davis from the Shortwood Practising Primary and Infant School. Is Mrs. Phillipson-Davis here?
Yes, she is. I'm advised she's in the room.
Okay, wonderful. We also have our club secretary, Georgette, and also Inspector Clark, our guest presenter who is coming up. And I know that I saw her in the room just now. I'd also like to know at this time, recognize our special guests. I'm just looking to see, I know I saw DLG Gerthlin in the room, and well, I heard her as well. I hope I'm not missing anybody.
DLG Pam.
Oh, DLG Pam, welcome. Right, I'm just making sure that I cover everybody, President. So at this time, I'd like to know, open the floor for visiting clubs and their delegations to just be recognized. I will go in order, well, I won't go in order of division, so just go ahead and recognize yourselves at this time. Hello.
Can they open their mics, PE?
Yes.
We're not. Okay.
Yes,
You can open your mics and speak.
Good afternoon, PE Chris.
Hi, good afternoon.
This is DP Josephine from the Kiwanis Club of Mandeville. So far, I'm alone. I don't know if anybody else has joined yet, but I'm alone so far.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other clubs?
PE Chris, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, distinguished Kiwanians, fellow Kiwanians and guests, and of course, our honored speakers this afternoon. Really, it's a pleasure joining you from where we are or from where I am. I am representing the Kiwanis Club of Constant Spring, and with us today, we have our Lieutenant Governor, Debbie Manning. Of course, she's LG for Division 23 Central, and also President Pat. I really look forward to a great presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. I did not see, and I would be remiss, LG Debbie, for not recognizing you, but I didn't see you on the list, but welcome.
Thank you very much, PE Chris. I snuck in.
Okay.
Thank you for the recognition, and thank you, DLG Pam. She's all the way in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Chicago.
All right, so LG, next time when you come, you can't just hide in like that, you have to let us know. You have to come in with a little flurry, So that
okay.
Cold, Pam? Ask Pam if she's cold.
I'm sure she is. Hello, President Paulette. They're in the background listening to everything. Thank you, P. Chris.
Okay. All right. Any other visiting clubs?
Good afternoon, PE Chris. This is DP Carlin from the Kiwanis Club of Cool City, Cristiano. 3 of us are on the one device this afternoon.
Okay.
We are looking forward to a very productive session, and we do hope that we will have some resolutions to some of the problems that we face on the topic. All right.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good evening, PE Chris and Team KCFAB. This is DP Stacy from the Kiwanis Club of Lincoln, and you're joined by DS Antoinette, DP June, and President Kevin is on his way. We look forward to an exciting meeting, and we know DLG Frank, who is international, he's also online.
Okay, welcome.
Good afternoon, PE Chris.
Good afternoon.
My name is Karine Fredanki, the guidance counselor, one of the guidance counselors at the Shortwood Practising. I am also expecting my other colleague to join, Mrs. Scarlett Martin. She may be a little late, I'm not sure for how long.
Okay.
So I'll be sitting in as well.
Okay.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. All right. If there are no other clubs, are there any SLPs with us this afternoon?
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, this is DS Marissa from the Caribbean District of Circle K International. At the moment, I am only seeing one other SLP, and she's from the CMU CKI Club. We're happy to be here.
Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, if that be the case, I now hand back to you, President Paulette. Because you're muted.
Thank you so very much, PE Chris. I'm busy having a conversation with myself, you know, but you know I'm good like that, right? Okay, so the LG is in the house, and I don't know if she just wants to say a few words before I go to our next device principal. LG, Debbie, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, President Paulette. I definitely will. I just want to underscore the, please forgive me for not turning on my video at this time.
That's
but
okay,
I just want to underscore the importance of this forum this afternoon. It is something that I have had to deal with in my normal course of work. And, you know, the information that will be provided here this evening will certainly help all of us in terms of, you know, providing the right kinds of intervention for children who we come across who have experienced sexual violence. So I look forward to this very important seminar and to the discussions that will ensue following. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, LG. We are all sharing the concerns. So as I said earlier on, this afternoon is a joint affair between the Shortwood Practising Primary and Infant School and the KCFAB. And I'll invite the Vice Principal, Mrs. Phillipson Davis, to now bring greetings on behalf of Shortwood. SPPIS, the acronym.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be joining in this occasion with you guys this afternoon on behalf of the management and the staff, parents and students of Shortwood Practising School. We want to say thank you for your partnership, the relationship that is aimed towards building a better Jamaica and a better global society in general. We know that with this kind of partnership, we're yet to see good things, great things. We truly have our minds set on those marginalized and students or young people taken for granted every day. And we're glad that there is a group that will not allow these persons to slip through the cracks and to be uncared for. So we're truly grateful for your intervention, and we are happy that we could be partners with you in this venture. I'm looking forward to having a great event this evening. hoping that I will be able to share afterwards my new knowledge. And I pray that all will go well throughout the rest of the program. Shortwood Practising School is celebrating 134 years of operation in Jamaica, and our influence spreads right across the diaspora. So if you continue to make a mark on the Shortwood Practising School, we are sure that your influence will take flight and it will reach the ends of this globe. So thank you so very much for having us, and we hope that this relationship will grow and we continue to work together throughout the years.
Well, Mrs. Phillipson Davis, what we are about is making that difference and impacting the lives of our children, one child, one community at a time. So we really, really are interested in making that difference. As Mrs. So we will continue to work and see how best the partnership and the relationship can grow in harmony. We now invite Mrs. Fredanke, I hope I have pronounced it properly, Fredanke, who will be our moderator for the session. I'm one that admit that there are certain things that I'm still learning and growing in. And so I now, without any hesitation, hand over to our moderator to treat with the session where we are all anxiously awaiting this information. Thank you so very much. And the floor is now yours, Mrs. Fredanke.
Good afternoon to everyone. It is indeed a privilege to be in this forum, and I am happy for all those who have joined. I will be moderating with you as we go through this meeting. Kindly allow me to cause persons to join as we go along. Our other guidance counselor, Mrs. Martin, she will be joining us in a few minutes so that we can continue the program smoothly. Now, as we all know, that abuse in Jamaica is on its rise. Every day we see, we hear, and we are informed by those who are concerned of the different situations that affects our children. A lot of parents are unaware at times of the level of abuse that the children may be going under, especially the matter of sexual abuse. Some parents are aware of physical abuse because they may have seen others inflicting abuse on their children or even on children that are known to them. We here at Shortwood Practising, and I can speak for the Guidance Counselors Association of Jamaica, we are extremely concerned, especially at this time of the year. We are going through a pandemic, and it is really a very difficult time for a lot of parents to be coping with all the changes. And the matter of sexual abuse especially has brought a lot of concern to us. Many of our children who have been abused or is being abused, even as we speak, would have escaped when they are gone to school. However, because they are at home now, they may just be in the vicinity where the abuse or abuser is present. Sometimes even the parents are unaware of the persons who are abusing their own children. So based on all that, against that backdrop, we are presently going into the program of looking at what is this and what can be done to stem this whole serious matter that we all have to deal with.
Child molester by Tia Miller. No, it's not go so. Me and you and a combo go away and a touch me on me and which parts I know you know understand. This a man not too bright and fierce. Oh, you fool and the little me. Galang go look your size and move, Brian. Me I go tell me mother and me father. Panta pada me I go tell me brother. Make the three of them box you over. Me no wanna sleep. See me now go in your car. Not because me walk go far. Me is a little girl who know when me work. You is just a grown pervert.
That was awesome, wasn't it? Yes. That was really very good. And the talent that is present in all our children. And it is the duty of parents to truly teach children, talk to them about all these things that may come their way and how to deal with abusers. And believe me, they're not too young to know. Parents, those of you who are on with us this afternoon, our children are not too young to know what to say, how to defend themselves, so to speak, at persons who are trying to abuse them.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, guests, Kiwanians. The pleasure is mine to introduce the guest speaker. Florence Clark is an inspector of police assigned to the Center of Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. She's a member of the JCF for more than 20 years. She is also a divisional training sub-officer, trainer of trainers in the following, and divisional performance management appraisal trainer and coordinator, trained community safety and security coordinator. She's also co-founder of JCF /ISSA Peace for Champs campaign, as well as the founder of St. Andrew Central Divisional Counseling Center. She's a professional social worker who advocates for the rights of women and children and a philanthropist at heart. Please help me welcome Miss Florence Clark.
Welcome, Inspector Clark.
I will share will be one that is edifying and helpful to our children. So I begin. Are you hearing me clearly?
We did not catch the first part. You were muted.
Okay. All right. So I am saying that there's some correction to my name. A correction to my name. It is actually Florine Clark. All right. So I begin by sharing with you Sisoka. Sisoka began in 1989 under the name Rape Unit. Of course, with a change in terms of how we approach our customers, there was a reformation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force in 2006. And so in an effort to avoid the stigma that comes with the name rape, the name Sisoka, the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse, is now our new name. What do we do at Sisoka? As the name says, we investigate sexual offenses and child abuse. And when we speak of sexual offenses, they are common to male, females, and more so even children. Because I share with you that we have different types of offenses. And so what we have that is very common is what we call sexual intercourse with a person under 16. And of course, person under 16 would mean a child, 0 to 16 years old, 0 to 15 years old. So what the law is saying is that a child under the age of 16 cannot give consent to sex. And rightly so, in terms of addressing issues that affect our children, your topic is one that is relevant. And it is important that as adults, we speak up and speak out and teach our children to speak up and to speak out. We need to teach our children about bad touch and good touch, the space that they are comfortable with, and whenever that space becomes uncomfortable, what it is that they're supposed to do. But before I really share what you have asked me in terms of how do we deal with villains who commit offenses under the Sexual Offences Act, I'll share with you that we have in every parish, we have a Sisoka. We have 2 in St. Catherine. At 3 Ruthven Road, we have our head office, and of course, the commanding officer is Senior Superintendent Shamin Shand. And there we have more than 55 members of staff. Also at Sisoka, we have a medical center. And of course, our medical center has a resident doctor, and that's Dr. Cheryl Burke. She's also a superintendent of police. And she's there from 8 to 4 each day. And we do have 4 other doctors and staff, and they come in the afternoon at 4 until 8 the next morning, and they are on call. Sisoka seek to utilize a multifaceted approach when dealing with their clients. And so what you find is that we have the Women's Center that we often interact with, because from time to time we have pregnant women, young women rather, schoolgirls. And of course, you know that pregnancy doesn't just stop them from functioning. So what you find is that we coordinate with other social service agencies to ensure that these young girls can continue their education, even although they are pregnant, and after pregnancy, they're placed into the regular school system so that they can continue learning and prepare for the future. We also interact with the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. And of course, we have an office at Sisoka, that's the head office at 3 Ruthven Road. And so they're at hand with us to intervene in any situation that affects children who are victims. And I want for you to note that I did say children who are victims victims. So if the child a suspect or an accused, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency does not intervene at this level. And I will share more with you on that as we continue. We also interact with other medical facilities, like, for example, the Kingston Public Hospital, the University Hospital of the West Indies, and our local clinics, to include the comprehensive clinic. Because from time to time, these agencies make referrals to us, or what you may find is that they may call us in to commence investigation into a matter. Right, and I believe that I would have left off the Kingston, the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, which from time to time interacts with us as well in terms of cases where our children may be pregnant. All right, so there are many cases that come to us at Sissoko, in that, of course, one would say that Jamaica has somewhat of a rape culture, yes, because in the sense where when cases are reported, you find that people find several different excuses as to why these happen to our women and children. But I am here this afternoon to remind you that we have an obligation to protect our children, protect our women. And I'm speaking of children and women, but we have seen a paradigm, and we have had sexual offenses affecting our males as well. So I am not moving away from our males. So we are here to protect Jamaica. And we are here to protect all the persons that comes within our spaces that are affected by sexual offenses and child abuse. Now, focusing more on our children, it is sad to say that as adults, we have an obligation to protect our children, but we have failed them and failed them miserably. And I say this because we have had several cases where parents, mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, you name it, or you name them, who have been arrested and charged because they have sexually molested our children or physically abused them. Now, if it is that we continue to operate this way, who will our children turn to? And so it's important that as adults, we do some introspection and understand that if it is that we have challenges, we need to seek help early. And if it is that you find yourselves under the Child Care and Protection Act, some persons are categorized as prescribed persons. And so we speak of our teachers, those healthcare practitioners, police officers, and many other professionals who fall under the umbrella of taking care of our children in the absence of their parents, right? You need to understand that if you find yourself having a challenge where you believe you're getting attracted to a child, then it's time for you to seek help. Because of course, Sissoko is not going to spare any effort in terms of leaving this situation. Because what we do is to arrest and charge persons once we have reports against you. However, I must share with you that what we ensure is that we investigate to unearth the truth. So whilst we listen and we investigate, we are not going to be unjust to persons. We have had cases where persons who come in to make report to us, our victims, may have been untrue in some situation. And there are also situations where we end up charging some of these persons. But nonetheless, I will continue to focus on saying that we have an obligation to protect our children. When we speak of rape, rape is one of those serious crimes under the law. And of course, when we focus on sexual offenses, we are looking at the Sexual Offences Act of 2009. And rape is when you have sexual intercourse with a person without their consent, When I say a person, I mean of any age without. And of course, we know that only a child at age 16 up can give consent. So sexual intercourse with a person without consent, which constitute force, fear, or fraud. Any of the elements, there must be penal entry. Now, I know we have men listening in. A man can rape a woman, but under the Jamaica Constitution or laws, rather, a woman cannot rape a man. It doesn't mean that if you are forced into sexual activities, that it will not be investigated and that the female cannot be arrested and charged. But unlike our other Caribbean partners who seek to call forced sex without consent rape, we don't in Jamaica. I'm hoping that in the near future that will change so that the Jamaican populace can develop a better appreciation or understanding to say that we invite classes to take perpetrators before the court of law for them to answer to these charges. I did mention before that sexual intercourse with a person under 16 is common officer, excuse me, while I turn over this. If our children are engaged in different forms of sexual activities, and what you find most of the time is that we have senior males involved with our children. And so for those persons who are on, parents, caregivers, it's important that from early that you interact with your young ladies and young men and share with them the importance of maintaining their innocence. Share with them that they have value, and so they should not allow themselves to be abused by senior adults or even young boys. And we find that from time to time we have cases where a young man may come in and yes, he's a perpetrator, and then he has no remorse, so he classifies the young lady as, you know, he's speaking about his macho man syndrome and he has done nothing wrong, and so it's okay because she laid herself. Yes. And so I'm saying, parents and caregivers, let us share with the young people the importance, our children, the importance of placing value on themselves. Let us share with our young boys that if it is that they engage in sexual activities with our children, and these situations are reported, that they will be arrested and charged. Because when we speak of offenses, once a child has attained the age of 12 years old, he or she commits an offense, that child can be charged and this before the court of law. Now, what's this when reports comes in force? We have an intake desk and we interview these persons, interview our children, and after interview, what you'll find is that we will send them to the office of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency for them to begin their intervention. After doing so, we will seek to interview them, a formal interview where we will record statements from them and their parents or caregivers, depending on whether or not they're available. If not, we will seek to have one of the children's officers from the Child Protection and Family Service Agency sit into the interview, and if it is that what is the case that warrants medical attention, then of course we take them to a medical center and have CPFSA sit in if parents or caregivers are not available. After these cases warrants an arrest. And so what we have at Sisoka is what we call a JCF strategy. We have what we call the divisional case registry. And so we review our cases to ensure that all the elements are present. We visit the scene as well, because sometimes what you find is that when our victims come in and they share with us, and I share with you a case. I remember I had a case with a 12-year-old female. She would look like 16, and she shared with me that she had a sexual relationship downtown on, I think it was East Street. However, we decided that we were going to take her to the scene because something just didn't add up. I went, met with our counterparts, that's our CIB persons, at the Kingston Central Police Station, while we kept her in a car waiting with her parents. And when we went and we visited the scene, we came to the conclusion, based on the busy thoroughfare, that the situation could not have occurred there. So we took her back to Sisoka, met with her again, and I shared with her, come on, young lady. You took us to a scene, but this is not the location. We are asking you to share with us the truth. All right, it was there and then that she decided to tell us that it occurred in a house in East Kingston Police area. So of course, I'm really sharing this with you to say that when we match a crime scene with the information given in a statement, it will assist with our investigation. Right? And so like in any other crime scene, if it is a rape case and we go on the scene, we look for semen, and we're going to look, if it's a bed that is used, we look for, look on the sheet if there is semen there, we look for condoms and so on if they were used. And of course, we'll prepare these and send them to the Institute of Legal Medicine and Forensic Science for these to be tested to find out if these match with the perpetrator's DNA, right? And so evidently what we are doing here is building a strong case, or if it is that it's not one that matches, then of course you know that it will not add up to a strong case. No, but these are what we do in terms of preparing our case files and preparing for the court process, because what we do is to arrest and charge our perpetrators and put them before the courts. And so in terms of focusing again on our children, I did mention to you before that when our children, boys and girls, commit themselves, they are not seen by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. What we do with them, most times we look at, depending on how serious the situation is, or whether or not the victim, there's any situation, and whether or not the victim is living in the same space, then we will have to move the perpetrator from the home, either place them with another family member. That is usually done by CPFSA, or we put them in our children's spaces that we have, like at the Metcalf Street Juvenile Remand, or the South Camp Juvenile Remand, where our ladies are kept if it is that they have committed any form of offenses. So of course, what we are saying here is that young boys and young girls who commit themselves, they too are arrested, charged, and placed before the court. They are usually placed, however, before the family court, because of course we know that this is a special court that is prepared to deal with children who have committed themselves, or on the other hand, to deal with cases that affect children who needs protection, like for example, other family services issues. Now, it is important that we also focus at Sisoka on what we call victim care. So what you find is that somebody may come to me to report a case today, and that case is placed before the court within a month. However, the trial date, especially with our COVID situation now, maybe 2 years' time. So our responsibility is to ensure that we live up to maintaining that good relationship with our victims, to let them understand what is happening with the court case, right? So it is that, so that in this situation, they understand that we really care about what is happening. You don't really leave everything until the day of court to share with them. So every time we attend court, it is our responsibility to say to them, the matter was called up today, whether or not the accused is in custody, when it is that you may be required to attend court, and that, like I said to you, that sometimes it may take a long time after the matter is placed before the court actually needs the victim to come to give his or her evidence. And so victim care is what we really stress on, so that persons have this feel of worth and to say that the police really care. I will continue to share with you other situations. Now, we're in a world where, especially now with this COVID situation, where a lot of our children are left unsupervised. It is important that we seek to find other means to protect our children, because what we find now at Sissoko is that during this COVID period, we have had more children who are left unsupervised, and so you find some sort of offense being committed, whether or not that it is sexual touching, where a child is being touched inappropriately. We also find situations where children, because they are not properly supervised, get involved in sexual activity. And when I say children, I mean even our very young children under 12 years old. In addition to that, we find that a child may be left with a neighbor, and that neighbor end up having sexual contact with the child not understanding, only to come and say, this is what happened. In our more disadvantaged communities too, you find this happening because parents sometimes are more laid back and not understanding the importance of properly supervising or monitoring their children, right? And so it is just, this situation is just too much. It's just too much, and it's time for us as adults. And I'm really happy that you seek to utilize this forum this afternoon to share the importance of protecting our children, right? In addition to sexual touching, we have what we call sexual grooming. And we are in the internet age, and you find that males and sometimes females seek to use the telephone to interact with our children, ask them to send their body parts to them, and then ask for sexual favors. And when it is that our children decide that they are not in agreement with this, then they seek to share those photographs via social media in an effort to get them to yield to giving in, right? To yield or to give in. And so there's a lot on our plates as adults when it comes on to protecting our children. But I'm hoping that as I share this afternoon, that you will take from it how important it is to communicate with our children, to share with them that Sissoko is there to assist in protecting them, and to use other mediums like this one to prevent the situation where children can learn how to protect themselves, and how it is that they can reach out to the different social services agencies which are there to protect them, like Sissoko, like the Victim Services Division of the Ministry of Justice, the Children's Registry, and the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. Now, what we have that in terms of offenses that we find affecting more so our males is buggery, and it's on a rise in that you find that, again, like I said before, a child may be left with a neighbor, or in the home, there are irresponsible adults who are looking at sexual videos or some sexual content, movie, or so on, and so our children are exposed. And of course, we know that our children are imitators, and so they decide to practice. And the end result of this is that you mean that an older boy may end up bugging a younger one. Right? Of course, I must share with you that this is an offense, and persons who commit these offenses, whether children or adults, they are arrested and charged and placed before the courts. In addition to that, and I am wrapping up so that you can ask the questions and I respond. We also find that from time to time our young ladies, in an effort to keep their virginity, they sometimes practice anal sex, as also what we refer to as grievous sexual assault. Grievous sexual assault is anything that whether penetrates the vagina other than the penis. So whether or not it is the mouth, finger, or any other implement such as a dildo that may be used, right, to penetrate the vagina, or the mouth of a female or a male over the penis of a male, and that we call those grievous sexual assault. And again, these are offenses under the Sexual Offences Act of 2009, and perpetrators, once we interview persons, record their statements, and we investigate, we arrest and charge perpetrators and put them before the court. Now, Sissoko can be reached at 926818. Sorry, that's a Half Retreat Police number. At 9264079. That's it. That's Sissoko's number. That's 9264079. As also, if you wish to send us an email, it's sissoko@jcf.gov.jm, all lower caps. And I am now open to respond to your questions.
Yes, P. Clark. Someone has asked a question. How do we treat cyberspace bullying?
Usually, cyberspace bullying is we have the community safety and security branch at all our divisional stations, stations that deals with school violence and other violence affecting children. And usually once you go to the police station, or even Sissoko, I'm not ruling out Sissoko, once you go to the police station and share, we will seek to intervene to meet both parties. There are times too which I can't share everything in terms of our investigative action, that we find other ways to contact these persons on social media. I must also share with you that when it comes on to the sexual orientation, just tying it up, of children via social media, that we have trained persons who are in touch with Facebook, and they assist in pulling down contents and closing out accounts as well. But it's a matter that warrants investigation. We do investigate. Kind of know, though, that we with children differently. So in this situation, what we may do is to call in parents and to intervene in an effort of whether it is that is one that we are going to, if it is one that warrants something on charge, or it is that we refer the persons for intervention at different agencies.
Okay, thank you. Can you just kindly repeat contact for the office? 926
4079, or you can email 926. I'm going to share it.
Okay, please. I actually started typing. Okay, someone is saying they would like to speak to you personally. Suggesting they could send you a message privately.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh boy, this reception is bad. Mrs. Clark. Oh boy.
1 second, DG Mel. One moment. Mrs. Clark.
I'm hearing you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, all right, because your reception was a little bit bad a while ago, so I'm going to you where you were the internet dropped.
Do you want to type your response in the chat box so I can respond to you, because I'm not hearing you clearly?
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. DG Mel, are you able to? I can.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, great. Is there anything the law can do for or against parents or the guardians who expose their young children to sexual acts? In that, in a lot of the primary schools, maybe high schools, those kids bring those acts to the school environment, and you find primary school kids boarding with other primary school kids, and so forth. Is there anything the law can do about that?
Yes, certainly. If it is that we can prove that parents engage in these activities or fail to supervise their children properly, they can be arrested and placed before the court. But again, in these situations, what you find at times is that a child may not be willing to speak against the parents. However, when it comes on to our cases, our sexual abuse cases, once a child comes into us and said that when, for example, when the man had sex with me, I told mommy like 3 months ago and she did nothing, or a month ago and she did nothing, well, clearly this is now a matter for CISOCA to investigate, and we do so with a view of arresting and charging the parent as well.
Oh, Ms. Clark, no, I don't mean where the parent or the woman or the man in the relationship bother with the child. Is the exposure of the child to sexual acts. Okay, some houses are very small, and they believe the child is asleep or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
And those kids bring those acts to the school, or they just blatantly don't care that there's a young child in the house.
Okay. All right, I understand you, but like I said, when we investigate to know the truth. If this information comes to us, unless it is one that warrants the police arresting and charging the parent, like the example I shared before. Other than that, the matter like that would be referred to the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. And of course, they intervene and they will look at the environment in which the child is staying and decides whether or not the child should be pulled from the environment. This is not usually a very common practice because, of course, you know, spaces in terms of place of safety is not one that is readily available. And of course, the government states that you put the family first, so they may look in other family settings. And then if it is that family failed, then the state will take over. But if it is that the situation comes to us, we do look at them in the best interest of the child.
Are there any other questions?
Sure. Ms. Clark, can we get access to statistics related to this information that you have given?
Yes, you can get, you mean in terms of how many children are affected by sexual abuse and so forth and sexual intercourse with a person under 16?
Yes, like for each parish or so, can we?
Yes, you can, yes, it is available from Statin and of course from the JCF website. But Statin is where you'll be able to pull it much more easier.
Okay, because I remember once we could have pulled it from the JCF website.
Yes. But you can get this information with request though.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the hard work that you have done. I remember you from halfway to the police station.
Thank you too.
And you would be there for Peace for Champs.
Yes.
There's a hand. DG Melford Clark. You go ahead and ask.
You asked this question already, Miss.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw a hand. Is there anyone else? There's a hand, Measure Douglas. Please go ahead. Are there other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any other persons who wish to ask. So we will take our entertainment.
Okay, everyone, thank you so very much, Mrs. Fredanke. Whilst we continue the program, I know it do a poem that is from Christine Neal, right? And it is about shadows on the wall. P.E. Chris, go ahead, please.
This poem is entitled Shadows on the Wall, written by Christine Neal Wright. This is part of my contribution towards sexual abuse where children are concerned and how it affects an adult in the future. Shadows on the wall. I see shadows on the wall, moving so swiftly. Shadows of war, of hate, shadows of fear and harm. Shadows of a man dissecting another human being, placing him in scandal bags, disposing of him in diverse places. I see shadows on the wall in my room. A young girl's screams are quelled by an adult male as he discovers something sacred, something golden, something that was not meant for him to touch. I see the shadows of an adult woman as she plugs her ears in the adjoining room. This nightmare will not go away. I see shadows in my room. Many moons have passed. This little girl, now an adult, lives a life in the shadows, always looking behind her, fearful of the future, not trusting anyone. I see shadows on the wall. Shadows of a storm are coming, shadows of a mighty whirlwind, cyclones, fierce lightnings, pestilences, shadows that shriek like a legion of demons in fury, shadows that make me quake within myself, shadows that haunt, shadows that can choke a living being to death, shadows that try to overpower you in your sleep, weighing you down, preventing you from uttering any words. They release you only when your spirit struggles like a caterpillar from its cocoon and your mind or your soul cries out, "The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd." I see shadows on the wall. I am too fearful to speak. A man approaches my room with a gun. I cannot speak. Boom, 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 boom. He's in front of me. Ah! He just eliminated 5 innocent children as they flutter in the street, dying, their memories soon to be erased. I stood crying at such senseless killings. I will never be the same again. At nights, now grown, I keep my lights on, clutching my pillows, but in the still of the night, in the still of the night, in the still of the night, I hear the shadows, I hear the shadows, I hear the shadows on the wall, on the wall, on the wall, on the wall. That is my contribution to child abuse. I hope you enjoy this one.
Right,
By Christine.
Mrs. Neil Wright wasn't able to speak because she had challenges with her microphone, but it never prevented her from getting her piece in to share with us in relation to this evening's program. But before we move on, there is one other question, Inspector Clark. Persons want to know, how do we provide guidance to parents that have children that are affected? Perhaps you may have said it before, but it's now a pointed question.
I wrote a part of it in the chat, but I will repeat. You can call us for information. We also focus heavily on public education, in that we have a community safety and security department that goes on and share whether we know we are focusing more on the viral aspect now because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we are still available to speak with parents. So if it is that whichever medium that you want us to interact or interface with these persons, we're available. We link them with other service providers such as a victim services division at the Ministry of Justice. And I must share with you that all cases that come to us at Sissoka, that we refer these persons for counseling at the Victim Services Division at the Ministry of Justice. In addition to that, there are some cases that may warrant us referring you to the Microcare Center or the Child's Guidance Clinic for further intervention. We also at the divisional level, Community Safety and Security Branch, sometimes you find that they interact with other agencies where they have parenting skills workshop, right? And of course, we are in the internet age and most things are now virtual. So contact us, and whichever way it is that we can link you to those service providers or offer you some level of intervention, we are here to assist you as best as possible. And I will continue to share this. I do so in all my interactions with clients and customers, in that we are now in the information age. And whilst there's no recipe for parenting, if you go online, just type in, how can I assist my child who's affected by sexual violence, something will pop up. So there is power in reading, and so or power in knowledge rather. So that is another medium that you can use. However, know that when we interact with people and they can share, it will strengthen us to move forward in terms of how it is to deal with whatever situations that are affecting us.
All right, thank you, Inspector. But mine is not the task to say thanks, so don't leave. I'll now give the final word on this matter to Mrs. Fredanke, the guidance counselor, who earlier on told us she can represent guidance counselors throughout Jamaica. So we'll just take a final word from her.
Just before I'm asking, there is someone tried to reach out to me privately. I am asking if you could give that individual my contact.
Okay,
Thank you.
I will. The person can call me after this, 876-389-2512, and I will provide the information. So you just WhatsApp me and I'll give you Inspector Clark's information after this session. Okay, thank you for providing me with that authority, Inspector. It's appreciated, because you know I would have said no, because you're not at liberty to share person's number unless they give you a number.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, Mrs. Fredanke, your word on these this matter.
Okay. I should also let you know that Mrs. Martin has joined us.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she's still on and would like to say anything. Mrs. Martin? I'm just checking if she's still on, wishes to say anything. Okay, I'm not hearing her just now.
All right, so we'll take you.
So I must say, ladies and gentlemen, parents, and my colleagues that are on this afternoon, along with our partners, the Kiwanis, it was a delight to be on this forum this afternoon. Speaking up and speaking out is something that a lot of persons have had much difficulty. There is a fear of not wanting anyone to know that something like that has happened to you, sexual abuse. I must say that DSP Clark has really done a great job in highlighting the work that they do. They are one of our partners as guidance counselors. We feed them with information as it relates to these regular abuses that our children undergo. And I must say that we have had great partnership, and this particular problem escalates from time to time. We are doing our best as guidance counselors to speak to our children. We counsel them once the information is given to us. We also counsel our parents on the matter, and we also ensure that all persons who are involved are dealt with accordingly by making the report. We are not investigators as guidance counselors. We are not the investigators. We are the ones who will make the report. And from there, Sisoko and the other bodies that are so empowered would normally take it from there. We are glad to have this partnership, and we will continue to do so. We are also delighted to know that we are able to work with you, the Kiwanis, here in Jamaica. It is really a grand opportunity to continue the work that we have been doing and to ensure that we keep our children safe. We know that one of your motto, or I think it's your main motto, is children priority one. I hope I'm right, if I can recall. And that is our motto too, in that our children are our future and we must protect them. And I hope that as we partner together and we work together, we will help to protect our children and to get them the best situations, the best environments in which they can be their best. President Paulette, I hand back over to you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Fedanke. And thank Inspector Clark. Now, in order to do that proper thank you, I now invite dear Sandrina to do this.
Thank you, President Paulette. I hope everybody can hear me. Good afternoon again, everyone. I just want to express our heartfelt thanks to our guests who shared with us this afternoon. I believe that the information just came across in such a way that there's nobody that can leave this session without saying that they understand clearly. Obviously, the topic that was discussed, but also we got, real direction. I spent my time writing down phone numbers, and I'm leaving this session really enriched, knowing better how to, help other children around me. And I'm sure that everybody else feels the same. So I want to just tell you that all of us are really, really grateful for the time that you have taken to share with us. And we just pray that the Lord will bless you and that together we will work to support and protect the children of our nation. Thank you so much for your time. It is greatly appreciated.
So Inspector Clark, we have your virtual certificate. I will ensure that hard copy in short order.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. What do you say about an afternoon that is so well spent? Dear Sandrina just rolled it up all nicely. And some person said the poem from Mrs. Christine Neal Wright was just real, and they could relate to it. So we want to thank you again all, and I'm not doing nobody thank you, and to say we continue the conversation about our children's welfare, and we will again invite you to be a part of any such forum, and sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. This is President Paulette of KCFAB signing out now. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening. Bye.
Thank
all.
you, President Paulette. We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks very much for the presentation. It was
Thank
really
you
good.
so very much.
Bye.
Yes, David Cameron, you had something?
Good evening, everyone. Stay safe. Remember, stay safe.
Oh no, David Cameron, you're not the only child here. Neither is Abigail Morgan the only child that was here. You had Roshane Ferron. You had several children in the room. So we had the children with us.
Yes.
I saw your question. We had the children with us. Because it also was for you to hear and understand.
And these kids will pass on the word to other kids.
Yeah, definitely.
So true.
They will share.
So true.
They will share. Thank you, dear Christopher, for sharing and coming.
No problem. Couldn't miss it for the world.
All right, then. Happy that you could have joined us. Yes, Roshane, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. And I see Wilma as well was well represented. And I'm sure you'll share with your others. Yes, Abigail, thank you. Anika, very well. And your little sister was watching. That's nice. Wow, it was such an impactful afternoon. We so appreciate it. Thank you, Selena. Celine. Yes, Celine. Don't say that, Rasheen. I'm sure they would. They're not too young to understand.
All right, I'm signing off, but
Thank
I'm
you
very
so-
grateful. I know that our parents are empowered today, so thanks so much for your input, for your impact.
Thank you so very much too for being with us. Sure, Russian, don't close yet. Russian, what is your question? If I can't answer you, I'll get it to answer you. Let's see, they say there's no stupid question. Let's see. We'll find somebody to answer you. Hi, Omar. Glad you could make it. Thank you for coming, DG Mel. I trust it was an interesting session for you. Roshane, I think that the police would say that that is abuse because they don't think we should be beating the children in that manner. And as you said, his father used to punch him and drag him down, then that certainly would be some form of abuse. Thank you for coming, Governor Giovanni. LG, Giovanni. Right, so Roshane, I think that would be some form of abuse. We will. We will try and do another session, Abigail. And we may do it on cybercrime. We may do it on some other things. But yes, we are planning to do one in Child's Month.